Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And we're back. And I always say, whenever she's with us, it's an adventure. I never know what's going to happen. So today I'm having like tech issues, and I've experienced before with a medium, these things happen. I'm not touching anything. My camera keeps shutting off. I don't even know what's going on here. Not the first time I've experienced this with mediums, and she's amazing. Leah DiNapoli is back with us. How are you?
Well, wow, this is so interesting that this is happening to us again. Because this morning I was thinking, well, I was going to talk to Steve about some really crazy energy stuff with technology today, and your camera is already starting.
It may go off. I'll have to turn it back on. I have a backup, but I don't like to use it. It's not as good as the original one, and then I have to make changes anyway. So I'm not touching anything. If it goes off, it's doing it by itself.
This is crazy.
Is there something now at this point in time where energy is getting kind of wonky in general?
I would have to say yes. I don't want to say at this point in time because it seems this happens to me all the time.
Okay.
Maybe in the past 4 years it's gotten a little stronger, I'd have to say, though, now that you bring up the timeline. Interesting enough. So I was going to talk to you about last time, because last time we had our podcast, excuse me, the camera kept going off, and it's happening again today. And I wanted to tell you something interesting is I did a group reading for a charity, a local charity.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably about 25 people in the room, and they had a couple rooms set up. And so before I do my group readings, I ask everyone to please shut their phones off, because I always have technical issues, right? Or in the middle of somebody's reading or grief, somebody's phone goes off.
Right. So
everybody complied and shut their phone off. At least I thought so. And I ended up doing a reading for a woman, for a mom who lost her son. Her son was a little bit older, I think 30s or 40s. And I kept saying, I need to tell the mom. He kept saying it to me over and over again. Tell the mom, tell the mom. So he had brought some evidence through and talked about his life and how he passed and things. And the mom who was in the group, was visibly moved. And for some reason, the spirit kept saying, but you have to tell the mom. And he would keep bringing my attention back. So I said, well, I don't know, but I keep hearing, I need to tell the mom. I need to tell the mom. And out of the blue in the audience, someone else's phone went off, and it was Siri. And Siri said, yes, you need to tell the mom. And everyone in the room stopped, including myself. And I said, what was that? Siri was answering, yeah, you need to tell the mom. And we all just kind of stopped. And she said, well, I thought I shut my phone off. I don't know why Siri came out. It was really something. And to be honest with you, we have it on video because my husband came with me that day and decided to videotape for some stuff that I do. And it's on there. And we had to go back and listen to it like 10 times to kind of filter it out. So it's not perfect. But it was, yeah, you need to tell the mom from Siri.
Unreal.
It was unreal.
You can't make that stuff up. And as you're talking, I connected the last time we got together, and yes, my camera was shutting off. I don't recall it doing it any other time.
Oh, okay.
Now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm in my mind putting it together, I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. I almost forgot. I'll tell you a really cool story. I was doing a reading for someone once, and I had the woman on Zoom, and I always have my phone as a backup just in case. And I tell people, like, if something happens with your Zoom, I'll call you on the phone, but I have to shut it off during our meeting because one technology cancels out the other, whatever. And what kept happening was her spirit kept coming in, and it was the spirit of her husband, but it was coming in like that into my head, not on Zoom. And I didn't know what was going on, right? I couldn't imagine why spirit kept coming in, going out, going in, going out. And even the images that I was getting clairvoyantly in my mind was like in and out, in and out. There was like static with it. Did the reading, got through it, got to the end, and I asked her, what she felt about the reading. And she said, well, I really want to tell you the reason why you could not get the way he passed, because I was getting everything around it, right? The scenario, what was going on, and I couldn't really pinpoint how he passed. Well, it was super tragic. And even for someone like me, it was super tragic. The gentleman, they had a family party. Everything was going fine. And then the gentleman, while they were cleaning up the dishes, decided to be responsible for his own life and take it. And he had that issue in the kitchen next to his wife while they were doing the dishes, which was absolutely awful, right? I can't even imagine. But I think spirit was kind of protecting me as well as this woman, because nobody wants to relive that. I
So
mean,
didn't
one time is bad enough.
you didn't speak of that because you were getting that signal in your mind that
It was coming in just like I am speaking. And it was really horrendous. And, her kids were in the next room. Her family had just left. I think there was a couple other family members still outside. And honestly, I think probably he had some issues going on that were way bigger than what we could imagine. And I'm not sure. The reading itself didn't feel comfortable to me from the beginning. And I think it was spirit just kind of giving enough for this woman, but sparing everybody else as well.
How did you know that happened and the way it happened and where it happened?
Well, I saw everything in my mind and felt everything except for that part, but I knew his spirit and his life, right? I didn't know how. So as far as I knew, somebody could have come in and done it, but I didn't see that, if that makes any sense.
And in the end, how did you know that
She told me.
he told you?
She told me, and she was in absolute hysterics, of course, and it was tough. It was really, tough on me. And but I think sometimes I think a lot of times, not sometimes, spirit actually protects the medium as well. They know what you can handle. And because of my prior job as being a fireman, having a lot of trauma in that part of my life, as well as growing up, I can handle a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And I can see a lot of things, and it doesn't really bother me. I'm able to shelter that, but that was pretty rough.
Do you think your former line of work groomed you for what you do now, hardened you, toughened you up a little bit?
Yes. I also think my life growing up toughened me up for the job that I did. It all kind of brought me to where I am today, which I'm grateful for,
Isn't it interesting, Liam, when you think about your life, like the path, like really get into your head? Sometimes people they're too into their head, and that's a bad thing. But like when you sit there and you just like analyze it, surface level, don't go deep, but just like, no, my life was that. It's this, but this happened back then, but this correlates to this now. And like when you put it all together, it's like, oh, maybe that was supposed to happen that way. You might not know the end game, but to this point, you're kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like when you really think about it, like you're saying right now.
Yeah, you're very insightful, Steve. And you're very aware because, yeah, it's the grander scheme of things.
I'm seeing it in my own life. I see it in my own, but I haven't taken the time to really put the pieces together. I see the pieces for what they are, and I see how one connects maybe to the other. Oh, definitely does there, and then that one there. But I haven't worked on the puzzle so much yet. However, most of us on the other side don't know how these pieces, I don't mean the other side. other side of the timeline.
I
Uh,
got you.
how they all go together. Maybe we haven't figured that out. Maybe it has revealed itself. For
I
me,
don't think we're supposed to. Well, you know what? I take that back. I think we're supposed to figure it out exactly when we're
it's
supposed to
supposed to
figure it out.
happen when it's supposed to happen.
Correct. So you have a long time of being aware of certain things in your life. By doing that as well, you can find patterns of yourself and how you've healed those patterns, right? So it's kind of like the karmic wheel. So
Hmm.
what we still do repeats itself, right? Why do people do the same things over and over and over again? And how do you get out of that? First step is becoming aware of it. So
Yeah.
what patterns in my life have I brought forward? What patterns in my life have made me be exactly where I'm at today, doing what I'm doing today? You know, a lot of them are choices, but sometimes if we don't make the right choice, that's the right choice for us, God brings it back around. Okay, well, here's another opportunity for you to figure out this. And here's an opportunity for you to make it different. And are you going to make it different? And are you aware of it? You know, the grander scheme. You know, nature has a perfect pattern, and the infinite being who created us has a bigger pattern than we can imagine. You know,
Do you think we're all here for a lesson to learn?
I don't like that learning word. I hate school. I think we're here to discover who we are and to discover who we
Then,
aren't.
then take. Okay, yes.
Mhm.
Learn, bad word. Agreed.
Mhm.
Um,
We're discovering ourselves each day, and we discover ourselves by choice, what choices we make, and being aware of patterns and changing our patterns. And do we like this or do we not like that?
okay, all right, I'm with you. But
Mm.
why do we have to do it? And why does it sometimes, usually, many times, it can be painful to go through these things? Like why? I don't know if I don't
Pain is the best teacher, isn't it?
say again.
Pain is the biggest transformation, right? Pain brings transformation.
Well, it certainly wakes you up.
Biggest teacher.
Hmm.
Grief is the biggest teacher, right? Sometimes we go along in our life and we're kind of in a fog, and something, what we might term difficult or terrible, happens to us, and it gives us no other option but to change. And we're getting that option to change, but it comes with great pain, unfortunately, you know. But my biggest things in life that have changed me have been the most painful, but they've also brought me through to the best parts of myself.
Usually, that's what many people say, that it leads to something way better than maybe was over here. But to get there, I always say it's like you're going through the birth canal. you know,
You know what? Exactly.
or
And I
maybe I can't imagine
feel,
it's really comfortable.
yeah, right. It's painful. Growth is painful. And you know what? I always say to people, the only way out is through.
Yeah.
You can't, you're here, you can't skirt it. And honestly, don't skirt it. Feel it, grieve it, feel the pain of all of it. And then what have I learned from, excuse me, what did I discover from that?
Hmm.
And I've also discovered how resilient and strong and helpful I can be to others because of what I've been through, right? And that's a great purpose, is just helping others.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I believe we're here to discover, but also to help others. And then when you discover those things, you're better equipped to help others, whether it's on a large scale, smaller scale, whatever. I saw a post recently from somebody on Facebook, and the post was karma is BS. And I looked at it, I'm like, that doesn't resonate with me at all. I don't believe that. What do you think?
I don't believe it either. Well, I think it's a karma is the law of one of the laws of the universe. And that's what we abide by. So karma, I don't think karma is about judgment either. I think karma is about making things balance again. Right. So even if you're in it's going to sound a little woo woo, this life or the next or the one prior, you know, something might happen where nature's out of balance. And so we get a scenario or an opportunity to make that correct or to do better with it. People aren't always aware that they're doing not nice things, right? And who wants to be judged? It's just like having a child who's doing something wrong. Don't judge your child. You just want to do the best you can to help them and to make them make a better choice, right? But what better way for them to learn is by the consequence of their action and then making a better choice.
If somebody does something not good, that impacts few people, maybe many.
Mhm.
Do you believe, and they're aware of it, do you believe that karma will serve them? Now, I'm not saying we want that for them, because we should always, you know,
Love for someone.
right. But do you think that karma will serve them? And I guess the second part of this is maybe they're not aware of the severity of things that, somebody may do. In their mind, oh, well, not bad. In the minds of everybody else looking, can't believe, do you think that you do things that aren't, and knowingly do things that aren't really the best for everybody, including maybe yourself, that something will come around to you? Maybe not good.
Yep. The
I,
long and short answer, but I mean, we all make mistakes. I can't say my husband has a really good analogy. He always tells me the difference between a good person and a bad person is intent. And did you do something malicious to somebody with a horrible intent? Obviously there are people like that, right? At some point, karma is going to make things right the way karma does it, not the way we might want it.
right.
We have no control over that. That's one of the laws of the universe. And for some people have, I could say the person who's done the worst thing to me and been awful person. Oh man, I hope karma comes and, sets them straight someday. And I noticed that it does without me even worrying about it. So I just let it go with love. And okay, I have to move on. Otherwise I'm stuck in that junk, right? So we have to
Well, yeah, that's a really good point, to sit there
can't
and
blame anyone.
get, marinate in the, I did that. I hope they get it and it's coming soon. Well, I just take your foot off the gas on that and just say, it's going to happen at some point the way it's going to happen. But I also believe, too, that when somebody does something to hurt others, they know it's going to hurt others, but they do it anyway, that they may be receiving the, I don't want to use the word karma, but the offshoot of that
The
anyway,
balance.
in some way. And when you look at it, it may already be taking place, but you don't really see it directly, and they would not even think it's happening. But if you take, it's almost like flying over the bleachers in a football game. It's like, ah, wow, that's what's going on down there. But when you're in it, you can't really see it.
Correct. And you know what? It's really not for us to see it. Our job is to make ourselves the best person we could be.
Right.
And if we make mistakes, figure out, geez, I made a mistake and I really hurt somebody by doing that. I don't ever want to do that again. Or, wow, I saw a person hurt someone else and I hope I never do it that way. Right. But we all screw up.
Mm-hmm.
It's how we discover who we are and who we aren't. Do we do something rotten to somebody and we enjoyed it? Well, that's kind of discovering who we are. Or did we do something and feel like crap because we did something? Geez, I didn't even know I hurt that person, right? There's a lot of that.
Well, that's different. I believe, like, there are people that do things that knowingly hurt others,
Yep.
and they may think it's justified, but it's not. If you're going to hurt somebody, it's not.
It's not justified ever. So, but if you're also trying to get revenge and putting bad vibes out there to that person, you're just adding to that.
Right.
And you're emanating that now. So like attracts like. So do you want to be still part of that, or do you want to just say, okay, the bigger picture is going to take care of that person. However, the bigger picture decides. I don't need to be bothered. I am still going to be me, speak my truth, be who I am, and that's it. And let it go, you
I
know?
agree. Yeah, because you're stuck in their energy field, and why would you
Mhm.
want to be in that?
Of
Plus, you're giving
course.
them your power because they're still having an effect on you, even though they don't really care. And somebody told me this, and it's
Mhm.
almost like something somebody would say on the playground, but it makes sense. So, what are you doing when you're looking at them? They did something wrong, and you might be right about that. You probably are, and you point your finger at them. Well, guess what's happening? You're pointing three fingers back at you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Hold the mirror up.
yeah. Just let it
Yeah.
go. It's not easy.
You know what? It's not easy because you're hurt and you can't understand as who you are, why somebody would be the way they are, right? So I always say you can't stop the wind, but you can adjust your sails, right?
Right. That's a good one.
Okay.
It really is because you can use their crappy winds to propel you in another direction that serves you way better, maybe in a direction that's far away from them, in a complete opposite direction. Sure.
You have to find your way back to yourself and what's important to you. And trust me, I'm human too. So my human self says, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. I blah, blah, blah. But you know what? That doesn't even feel good to me when I say that. Like, I hope, I hope they meet their whatever because of what they did. It doesn't feel good in my body, even. It feels better for me to say, dang, that really hurt. What can I do to get out of that? And just keep that person away from me and let them go on their way. And it's not easy. It's
Yeah.
who showed us better? Jesus, right? I mean, honestly, I'm not far from that, but I would like to think I'm going that way of just being able to love people but let it go, right?
Right.
It's very difficult, but we're here to discover how to do that.
Well, yes, you are right. And it's also about, I think we skimmed upon forgiveness, how it so serves you to forgive. We don't condone what somebody may have done,
Absolutely not.
but just to, I forgive you. Be well. Good luck.
Right?
Bye. Bye.
Forgiveness is for yourself.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because like we said, what happens? If you spend the next, and I've done this, right? I've done it just like everyone else. The next 2 weeks, 3 months, 5 months going, oh, what a jerk. What of this? What of that? I hope they get theirs. And
They're going to
I'm
get
like, they're not even thinking of me. And I'm putting all this energy into that.
right.
I've done it for years for some, and have I changed that person by all my thoughts? Not a one. I've only brought myself down and down and down instead of I just work on myself and let that go. And then I have to forgive myself for staying in that situation for as long as I did.
That is, I think
That's the hard part.
many of us forget that.
Mhm.
And, and when you look back, years go by and you look back, why did I even do that? You were so not worth it. And look at me now. I'm so much better. Things are so much better.
Mhm.
And look at your life. Yeah,
But you learned and you let go and you went past that pain and tried to, let them go. And so you're helping yourself. Sometimes people are just on their own path. They're not going to move from where they're at, but that's not for us to decide to make better. It's for us to make us better.
hmm
And then that makes people around us better as well.
I truly think you need to step out of it and look at it from down because that person that may have done something to you, you may you may look at their life in a whole different sense. Like you may be over here and you're discovering and improving and just evolving into a great person. Not that you weren't before, but even better. And they may be sitting here just like
They're
going
still
nowhere.
stuck. Do you imagine how sad that is to be still stuck in that?
Yeah,
Right. So I look at it now and go, wow, that person is just still stuck in that mire of crap.
yeah.
And I'm not, even though it still hurts and the memory of it still hurts. But I learned so much. So maybe they were a catalyst, what they did. Maybe that was a karmic thing. That situation, what it did to me, brought me to a better place. And I feel bad that they're not moved on. But that's not for me to make them move on, you know?
Absolutely not.
No, we're all opportunities for each other, really. It's just a matter of, like you said, I learned this thing from a channel, and she said, when a person, human like us, steps outside of ourselves and starts to be the observer of our life and aware of what's going on, the spirit world jumps for joy because we're getting the bigger picture.
Interesting. I think we'll end on that note, because I never thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way. You got
Our
to look.
soul is evolving.
Got to look for the bigger picture. And when we're deep in it, sometimes in the trenches, in the weeds, you're not seeing the bigger picture. But when you go up here and just look down, like, wow, that's what's really taken place over 6 months, 6 years, whatever it might be.
Yeah, right.
We,
And it's never too late.
well, my camera didn't shut off again.
I know, see, because it was an important message to come through. That's awesome.
I truly believe that, because
Mhm.
instead of me worrying about putting the camera back on and maybe switching on the backup, blah 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 blah, we focused, and it was insightful, and it super interesting. Your website is your name, correct?
Yep, mediumleah.com. Oh, and I wanted to mention, just for Cyber Monday, since I'll do a little promotion. I have gift cards, and I brought them. They're pretty cool. They're real gift cards for Cyber Monday. And you just have to go on my website or email me at mediumleah@yahoo.com. And you can put any denomination on there instead of a regular gift, give some love and healing this year.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
It really is. Do the gift cards expire?
No, as long as I'm in business, the gift cards will work. I'm not like that. And
Yeah.
they're really cool too. They're eco-friendly, so they're reusable. You don't have to throw them away, and they're actual metal, and they come in a really cute case
Cool.
that
Wow.
I made. So yeah.
Wow, what a great idea. I didn't even think of that. So many people need answers, need healing, and Medium Leah, LEAH.com.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for today. A lot of didn't know what direction we were going in, but I think we went in a very important one.
Me either. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, Steve.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.